the elimination of poverty, the provision of full employment, equitable distribution of wealth, and the equality of opportunity and justice. Those are the words we live by.
Good night, comrades. You ready? Yes. Yes. We want to apologize for the late start of the meeting, but you can blame Comrade Daryl Matthew. He organized some whistle stop. And you know how Labour Party some go. The whistle stop turned out into a megacade. And so they were late getting here. But we're ready to rumble. Let me tell you something. The Prime Minister decided that this campaign wasn't going to be no marathon. It was going to be short. It's like a 400-meter race. The person that is in front sometimes tend to take a glance over the shoulder. But we're not even looking over our shoulder because they're so far behind. We're ready. We're ready. We're going to run this place again. And for a long, long time. We're getting ready. I want to call the chairman of the Rural South Branch to address you tonight. Comrade Gilpin, come talk to your people, man.
Comrades! Comrades! Are you ready? Are you ready? Rural South, are you ready? Why is it 17 on? 17 on? Good night, comrades. Good night. Look at red. Look at red. Why? Tonight, guys, I'm here representing the new parliamentary representative of Rural South, the Honorable Daryl Matthew. We can set you up, no worry. Yes. Comrades, Daryl Matthew is the man that is for the people. And he is the man that is going to move Rural South forward as part of the economic powerhouse. This is a man that cares for the people, comrades. He cares. A few days ago, comrades, I heard a clip by the other person running the area. I can't remember his name. But, comrades, I don't even understand what he was saying. I don't. Like he had to get his thoughts together like Lamin. He's a joke, comrades. He's a low joke. Flap, flap. Comrades, Lovell and his goons of candidates have no vision to move this country forward, comrades. None at all. We're looking at a man that was the worst tourism minister, the worst finance minister, and have the audacity to ask Antigua and Barbuda to elect him as the prime minister. What do you think, I'll chop it? Never! Comrades, I tell you. Comrades, if we elect a Lovell to office, he's going to plunge Antigua and Barbuda into an economic disaster. Comrades, I tell you. With his false promises, false promises, he wants to cut all kind of taxes. How much people going to go home after that? How much people, comrades? Transport board alone can send them 250 people. Bankrupt, comrades. Comrades, with the essence of time, on March 21st, comrades, we're going out in our numbers and we're going to vote Daryl Matthew, Gaston Brown, and entire Team Labour. Comrades, we have them. We have them. I've done them. They're flop, comrades. They're flop.
That was Comrade Gilpin. We stayed in the constituency. And I invite Comrade Devon Jarvis to briefly address you. Come on, comrade.
Good night, comrades. I've done them. Them flop, them flop, them flop, them flop. They go against Daryl Matthew, say you know them flop, cause we got end up plus 21st pan top. Yeah! Comrades, welcome to the World South constituency and also to the Mecca of Otters and the World South constituency. Just to give you a brief history of this area. This area, Otters pasture, was made clear because we are in the area of a hero. The hero called Prince Class. And here's where these guys were gibbeted on the wheel for the revolution. Also, Comrade Levi Joseph Park is the name. And Levi Joseph was one of the persons who rode on his bike and sold the Workers' Voice newspaper. That's past. Presently, we have a candidate, soon to be the representative in Comrade Daryl Matthew. Women of Labour! Youth of Labour! Let me hear you, World South Branch! Let me hear you, World South Branch! I'm here tonight to endorse this candidate because I tell you, he caught me by surprise. I remembered working with him in the early 2004 when the previous government took over. And I must say, without fear or favor, he has some rough edges. But trust me, you know who I am. And I spoke to him, and I can tell you, he's one of the persons that you can speak to. And if he has a weakness, he'll strengthen it. And so, after he was asked to become the representative of this area, didn't know I had any affiliation with this constituency. But he thought of me with respect, and he called me. I thought I run a football team, yeah? So I thought when he called me, I was in need of a sponsorship. So I said, wow, good man. Thought I would be sponsored. He said, Mr. Jarvis, no, let's use the right word. Centauri, as everyone will know him in his constituency. He said, Centauri, boy, the Prime Minister asked me to represent you all, you know. And I am thinking of it. But the fact is, you're a person who I would have spoken to before. And out of respect, I come to you to ask you what you think. I said to him, partner, me had the chance before, you know. And I didn't. Because you know how we like to slander people because of their ambition. But I said to him, for me, I am the acting chairman. So when I speak, the constituency follows me. And I said to him also, go home. And if the wife is with you, you have my followings. And I want to thank all of our people from St. John's Warsaw constituency who have now rallied behind Comrade Daryl Matthew. And we're going to bring him home. Because, let me tell you something, I have never lost an election. I lost to Winston Williams, and even him is with me today. That's how we work. I want to say to you, tonight, take this election seriously. We got to look at how Antigua and Barbuda is running today. Think about 10 years prior to 2014. I used to go to the supermarket and I see mothers, fathers, parents would put back goods. The children would be so disgruntled. I've seen between 2004 2014 and 2018, boy, look at the child today. Look how he's happy. I want to say to you all, let's not think about the individual, because I know some of us will say, boy, I'm going to get nothing. It's not about me. It's not about you. It's about the institution. Antigua and Barbuda, the Labour Party, the Prime Minister, and Team Labour, which has made things very, very, very good for us. And anyone who says that Antigua has not improved over the last 3.5 years, well, they're not living in Antigua. And from the bare fact that we can produce a manifesto and not a pamphlet, you know where we're going. And I would not mention my opponent, but I would say, we got done them. We got done them. We got done them. But I want to say also, Comrade Daryl Matthew has on his slate very seriously education, sports, health on his agenda. And I have taken a dormant stage for the last several years. This is the year or years to come that you'll find me working. The young people around this constituency can tell you who I am. I love people. And Comrade Daryl Matthew loves people also. And I'm not going to sit down because he says one thing. He says, I will not take the blame alone. If I fail, you fail. So if you see me failing, you need to pull me up. And I'm saying to you all, let's work together with Daryl Matthew. We're building together. Let's work with Comrade Daryl Matthew and Team Labour. Because let me tell you something. None of you have seen any transformation of Antigua and Barbuda like it has been for the last 3.5 years. And there's more to come. And there's more to come. I will not be too long because I would not want to steal his thunder. But I just want to let my constituents know. As you normally come and say, Sendari, are you make our vote or no? I will tell you this time, I'll make you vote and I'll make it happen for our constituency. And once again, I want to thank you all for coming out and welcome to this constituency. And I also want to say to you, on the 21st of March, you need to get out there early because we want to done them before midday. ALP, Daryl Matthew, Team Labour, forever. Once again, thank you all and enjoy the rest of the meeting. Thank you.
Rural South! Yes. You know, tonight, I'm going to take just 2 minutes to deal with one of the UPP candidates. I saw an ad on TV today with a fella named Trevor Young talking about he going to do this and that for young people. But I want to tell you tonight, on the 15th of December last year, at the Transport Board, they had a meeting with all the driving instructors. The meeting was chaired by Mr. Jarvis, the General Manager of Transport Board. In that meeting, Trevor Young put up his hand and said that he heard that they were going to send home a number of licensing officers from the Transport Board. Mr. Jarvis corrected him and told him no such thing. What the board was doing is that they were putting in place a retirement age for those licensing officers. This was Trevor Young's response to Mr. Jarvis. Make sure that when you do that, and persons would have reached the retirement age and have to go home, that you don't employ nobody under the age of 45. Trevor Young said that on the 15th of December last year. He went on to say, and he repeated it at least 3 times, that that he wants competent people. Now what Trevor Young is saying, that if you're under 45, you can't be one licensed officer at Transport Board. And if you're under 45, you're incompetent. The person who was doing the recording secretary, felt so sorry for his dunceness that she failed to put it in the minutes. The next meeting was on the 12th of January. And when the minutes was read, Trevor Young did not hear his statement. And he stood up at the point where you have matters arising. And he said, me not hear what I said last week. I want to reiterate that I don't want anybody who is incompetent. He didn't repeat the age this time. Let me tell you, comrades, Trevor Young and the UPP, they don't love young people. Let me tell you, they don't love nobody. They firmly believe that in 2009, it was the young people who started their demise. And in 2014, the young people done them. And this time is the young people. So they don't want you. And so I'm telling the young people tonight, not only in rural East, but in Antigua and Barbuda, you cannot go out and vote for the UPP. They don't love you. Another group of people that they don't love are the non-nationals. They don't love you. And I'm begging you, not lose the key of your brain and go vote for non-UPP. You remember they give you a passport, they lend you it. They call it millennium. They move the age where you would be eligible to vote from 3 years to 7. Nowhere else in the Caribbean it happened. So I'm talking to the older ones now. If you have any children between 0 and 45, whether your child, your grandchild, your great-grandchild, your niece or your nephew, you cannot vote for UPP either. You have to protect the future of this country. And then when you think they love old people, Jackie Quinn call them ragtag. So they don't love nobody. And so I'm telling you, on the 21st of March, we're going to chase all those demons out of this country. Now you think that Trevor Young would have a little more sense, because even in name are young. But he hate young people. How can you call young, intelligent, educated people incompetent? And so we're going to dun them. Dun them. We're moving right along. There's a certain man that I've been missing at these meetings. But he tells me that he's been busy finishing some little half breed. All right, now come here on. From uncut fame, we're going to St. Philip South. Daniel run away and send some kind of Chester up there. Join me in welcoming Comrade Lennox Weston.
Comrades, good night. It's good to see you once again standing before the family of Labour, ready to do your duty, to go to the polls and vote for the Labour Party. You know, every political organization will hire pollsters to help to feel the pulse of the country. And the Antigua Barbuda Labour Party hired a pollster. And he said, Labour will win all the seats. But he's concerned that there are some individuals who have refused to state whether they will vote for Labour Party or not. And they claim that they want to hear the reason why they should vote for us. And so tonight, I know all of you have been convinced that your lives have been made better by the Labour Party. All of you who have received a car in the last 3 years, put your hand up. All of you who are working in the audience, put your hand up. All of you who are safer in your homes under Labour, put your hand up. You see, when the Labour Party came to office, the class of 2014, we didn't come to office to play Dolly House. We didn't come to office to be like Norman asking, is that you? We came to office with a solid, solemn pledge to improve your lives and your livelihood in the 5 years you have given us. We promise you more jobs. We promise you more investments. And I want to ask you, Social Security has said that they have over 5,000 new payees on their roll, new workers who are now working. You would have heard the Prime Minister list all the investments. You would have seen the new construction sites going up. But yet still you have some failed politicians with big voices still trying to convince the Antiguan masses that you should vote for them. Now, Harold Lovell became leader of the UPP party. His first act as leader was to lose 13 of his soldiers who had a vote of no confidence and said they will never work under Harold Lovell's leadership. Think about it. 13 of the UPP politicians who were ministers working with Harold Lovell had a vote of no confidence and said that flushable waste cannot lead them or lead Antigua Barbuda. And if your own, the people who work with you, the people who know you day by day, if they say you're no good and they don't want to be any part of you, how could any one of you risk your lives and livelihood under flushable waste leadership? Now we have no excuse in this election, because in 2004, you could say you want to try something. You did try something, and in 10 years, your lives went backward. You knew hunger, you knew joblessness, and your country became bankrupt and had to go to IMF begging money like a pauper. The person and persons who ran the economy are the same people who are asking you to put them back in power. And so you ask them, if you failed us, if you bankrupt us in 10 years, if we are forced to fire you for your poor performance, now you're reapplying for the job, what is new about you? You throw the man out of your house, because you're bum. He now feed the picnic, he now feed you. You're a nice new man who will take care of you, and he tell you want to come back in. To do what? A blow you love? A hardship you love? I am saying to you, did Harold Lovell and his team improve? Did he get better politicians than he had before? And if he now has only mongrel braid people working and challenging us, and the ones who they had before were better than them, and they fail, what would you expect from this crowd? And so let me say to you, when you go out and you meet those individuals who either because of history or their family votes UPP, you have to say to them, this is the time you change. A party has a responsibility to give you something to vote for. Not because you vote for the Labour Party, we can bring mongrel dog and tell you vote for them. You must see individuals with the capacity, with the experience, with the background, with the tenacity to deliver on your behalf. You are hiring them to work for you. And if you hire bums, and you hire dunces, and you hire crooks, what do you expect? And so I want to tell you, the Labour Party not only in 3 years would have solved every single major problem we inherited, but we have gone on to create new value, new opportunities, new investments, new nice, lovely opportunities for young people, for their education, for their scholarship. But we have just started. We have 5 major projects. You have heard about them: the roads, the port, the lights, the sewage system, the scholarship programs, the job creation, the cruise ship pier, the 10 hotels which have already started. You know about those. And then recently I hear them now talking about, oh, we have made life hard because cost of living is too high. Well, I want to tell you, not only have we implemented great programs in the last 3 years, we have even better ones to come. And tonight I want to share with you the creativity that has always characterized the Antigua and Barbuda Labour Party. We hear them speaking about cost of living. And we know that cost of living in all countries, especially like ours, will be made up of 2 components. One is the food we import, and 2, it is the local cost of services and utilities. And the Labour Party has pledged to you that over the next term, we are going to take creative measures to reduce the cost of living. And what are we going to do? We have noticed that the prices in North America for food is very much lower than the prices here. But when we check the cost of the ship freight from Miami and New York to Antigua, the 2 freight companies who bring our cargo charge us 5 and 6 times the rate. They decided that we have no choice. We must use their ships, and they push the price high. So it is cheaper to bring a container from China to Antigua than to bring a container from Antigua or from Miami to Antigua. And so we are proposing a couple of things. We will no longer be held hostage to these cargo vessels. The Antigua Barbuda Labour Party will be bold, and we will do what CARICOM has been talking about for so long and yet still have not done. We will buy our own crew, we will buy our own cargo vessels. We will train our nationals to manage and man those vessels. We will become the shipping line not only for Antigua Barbuda, but for the entire OECS train. We will cut the price of cargo by half. And you know the taxes are calculated, costs included freight. So if freight goes down, what will happen to the taxes? The taxes go down also. By simply getting bold, not being dependent on those individuals who hold us ransom, we will go out and buy our own cargo vessels. We will send our young people to train so they can manage and operate those ships. And we will cut cost of living between 15 to 30%. Tell them cog that, because their brain can't create what we can think about. We're not finished yet. When Clavis Joseph took over the port, he implemented charges which made about 6 or 7 agents multimillionaires in this country. They have put on charges which bear no resemblance to the value, and all of us are paying for it. Well, the Antigua Labour Party government is not a government of the few. We are not here to have the ordinary people suffering while 4 or 5 become millionaires on the backs of the workers. And we're going to break up that agency and ask them to charge fair prices so fair prices can be achieved in the supermarket. I want to assure you, the new port we're building will have the most modern equipment, where the world record time of offloading vessels will be met. Because we all know the longer it takes to offload a vessel, the more money you pay. And there are world standards by which you must offload a vessel. And the $90 million US investment which the Chinese government are giving to this country, which the Labour Party successfully negotiated, that will make Antigua rank among the fastest countries to offload a cargo vessel and therefore make us the most attractive port in the Caribbean. And we say we can guarantee you within the first year of our return to office, you will not only see Antigua expanding its ownership class, you will not only see Antigua creating new jobs for our skilled trained labor, will reduce the cost of living between 15 to 30% on food items. I want to quickly turn to something which I want to talk about. I want to give you false hope. Because we seek no easy victories. We tell no simple lies. We speak truth to power every time. And we always will lead you in the right direction. The price of utilities is a function of the cost of oil and also a function of the cost of delivering the product. We have no control over the price of oil. It depends on the fighting in the Middle East. It depends on what the Americans are doing with shale oil. One thing we do know, it goes up, it comes down, it goes across. Any business person will tell you, you cannot plan in an uncertain environment. And when you have the UPP telling you they're going to have gasoline and utility prices going up, down, north, south, all around, that is a clown government. Nobody can plan in an uncertain environment. You cannot price in that way. And you cannot make Antigua better by cutting the price of electricity and bankrupting APUA, so you can't pay for your oil, you can't pay for your water, you can't maintain, and like them you have no service. That is done stinking. That is not solving the problem. That is creating a new problem, which is worse than the first problem. And so what is our proposal to reduce the cost of electricity? Again, we are light years ahead of those dunces. We have said very simply that we have individuals who can negotiate. We have individuals in this government who are trained in all areas. And the Global Environmental Fund has over $100 billion to help countries like ours if you provide a good project. We have gone to them to be the very first country that will make our entire island a green electrical island powered by green energy. The first step we're doing is we are requesting by the last quarter of this year that they provide us with enough solar and wind power that we can take the entire government services off the national grid. The capital cost of the green energy technology will be grant funding. It will be free. And so the only cost we will need to replace is the current cost, which is what? Free wind, and free sun. In other words, if you don't have to pay for the capital cost of green energy, you can provide electricity at pennies instead of $1.30 per kilowatt hour. We will get grant money to take the entire government grid by the second year in office offline and save over $30 million a year. We will then move to the most democratic application of green energy, where not only the rich will benefit, but all of you. We will do it in a way which will not destroy APUA. We will let APUA rent all the roofs in this country. And they pay you for renting your roof to put the solar panel on. And they will charge you the low rate of green energy and deduct your rental fee from that. In other words, we are going for a long-term solution which will not only serve us today, will serve your children tomorrow and keep this country green and clean and therefore make us attractive to tourists who want to come to our country. So when they come and they tell you about cost of living and they tell you they're going to subsidize this and subsidize that, what they're saying to you, they're going to crush the economy as they did before, because those solutions of moving things left to right are not solutions. They mere utterance of a tired brain, a mongrel brain with no solution for your future. And so we want to say to you, in every department, whether it's roads, they spent $1.4 billion, we have no roads. We will spend less than $500 million, and every single road in this country will be fixed. They spent $500 million, and they did not buy one asset. We have bought 2 new crushers. We have bought our own cement plants. We have built our own lab so we can test the inputs. We have our own trucks and our graders. We are training our people. And so I want to assure all of you who are complaining about roads, we now own the production system. All of you will get roads. No one can hold us to ransom. I want to assure you, in every dimension of your life and livelihood, we don't sleep. We don't go into office dressed up and looking pretty like Harold Lovell and read a script. We spend our nights and days researching, studying, planning, bringing the best practices to you and your children so Antigua and Barbuda can be the #1 economy in the Caribbean. I want to give you a story. When we took over, IMF walked in and they said, "You guys must regret winning the election." I said, "Excuse me?" They said, "Look at the numbers. You have no money. You owe over $400 million to everybody. No water, no light. Which politician wants to take over with that situation? You will fail immediately." Well, 3 years later, ABIB fix, we have growth, debt reduce, work create, hotels start build, investments start come, and they come back and they say, "Western, what has happened? Western, what has happened?" I say the brain of the Labour Party individuals are the ones who write the book. Go and read the book and learn how to develop a country. God bless you. Stand with Labour. We're with Labour. Power to the people. Good night.
That's Comrade Lennox Western. Yes. Yes. Well, comrades, you know one of our OECS neighbors went to the polls today. In Grenada. And let me tell you, it's bad news for UPP. I just got the result in one constituency. PM Mitchell polled 2,500 546 votes. His opponent got 406. Well, me no Wilmot Daniel Belly start to Hattie. That's, like somebody told me behind, that's 6-1 plus remainder. So that's what's going to happen in plenty constituencies in Antigua. I heard that the votes have not been finished, but the opposition has already given up a 15-0. So in Antigua, it's going to be 17-0. We got done them. UPP finish. And let me tell you, I don't start another verse from a poem. Then finish. We're going to St. Philip's North. Oh Lord, I tell you, he run against my cousin. And me beg you, have a little mercy upon she. But she hadn't. She hadn't. Me tell she jump ship. But she want to play Shiro. All Shiro dead. Tell she jump ship. Come over. You go. You want in our leaky ship with a leaky captain and a fool, Sean fool. Me don't know where she get the foolish jeans there from, but it can't be from inside of the family. Comrade Robin to win your award.
Good night. Mr. Master, sermon is, colleagues on the platform. Tonight we're here in support of Comrade Daryl Matthew. I think that you, the people of rural South, have made a fantastic choice. Daryl Matthew, as a young man, he comes to this platform with some experience, some knowledge, some sincerity, and with the love of the people. I want you to put Darren in Parliament. Let him come in there to sit with the rest of us. Comrades, we reach at a juncture in our development where we have to look for the right and look for the wrong. In 2004, when the UPP campaigned against Labour, you all remember the amount of lies they told? They had film show at East Bus Station, and they said what they were going to do, etc., etc. After the election, nobody heard they apologize for what they said. They said there were ships out there, Sandy Island, bringing in all the work. And I want to tell them tonight, the people were waiting on them jobs, and not a job came. Comrades and friends, you must remember that when they took over, Royal Antigua was going there as a hotel. And the first thing they did, they sent out the operators of that hotel. They took it over. They sold it to a man from Trinidad. And Royal Antigua, who was this big up here, with over 280 rooms, it hit the bottom. They didn't employ 50 people down there for all the years that they were in power. The taxi drivers were out of work. The workers were out of work. The suppliers were out of work. And Royal Antiguan,
a hotel that used to be the pride and joy of us Antiguans, it stayed there like a white elephant. For the 10 years, nobody got no jobs out of it. Nobody sold nothing out of it. Not a thing was done until you, the people, with the blessing of Almighty God, kicked their ass out in 2014. And I want to say to the people, my good people in Antigua and Barbuda, never ever try that trick again in voting UPP into no political office. Y'all remember, go down to Royal now. Royal went down so low. The entire hotel is gutted now. And Royal will be open by this November. 300 rooms will be there. And next to Royal, there will be another 150-room hotel that will be started. And when I look out here tonight, and I see all you young people, I say to you tonight, and I give you our pledge from the Labour Party, work, work, work is on the way. We say to you, get your training. Because if you do not get your training, others from outside, our brothers and sisters will come in. And you're not going to be able to stop them because you want your buildings done. And I'm saying to all of us, the young people, this country is on your shoulders. Never let Antigua and Barbuda down. If you are true Antiguan, you must make a sacrifice of educating yourself in a trade, whether electrician, plumber, what have you, etc., even to organize entertainment in the hotels. Get yourself equipped. Labor, back to work with labor. Comrades and friends, you all remembered there was a big announcement by UPP. 13 hotels. 13 hotels, they said, were going to be built. They brought in a group here from Miami. I forget the name of them. Do you remember the name? That they sold the land down at Royal Antigua, just down by Valley Church Beach. They brought that company in. They did not get 1 cent for the money. They must come and tell you, the people of Antigua and Barbuda. Always remember, you're the masters. We politicians are the servants. It's not the other. They want to put it the other way around. The company never paid $1 for the land down there. They said the company was going to build this big-time hotel, 300-room hotel, and the government is going to put in the land for shares. The company came. Years came and gone by. The company never ever dug a shovel down there. And you know what is bad? When we got in, they had such an agreement with the company. When we got in and we had people to go and build on that same land down there, nothing was done. You know, they wanted negotiations. And our beloved Prime Minister, they wanted $6 million US, and not even a black was on the land. And the Prime Minister negotiated with them and tell them, if you don't take this, we're going to court. We had to pay your taxpayer dollar, $1 million US. We had to pay for them to free up the land. The Attorney General is right there. He drafted up the agreement. $1 million US. So rather than you getting work, rather than you seeing an edifice down there, it turns round that the people came and did nothing. And they made a profit of $1 million US, and you holding the ear. That is what they did. They said they had Sugar Ridge. Why I'm going through these? Because they're lying to you. When we took over, Sugar Ridge had something like 6 or 8 cottages. Sugar Ridge has stopped construction. Whatever reason, we called them in and we spoke to them because we have a prime minister. You do or you go. And the prime minister had a talk with them. And we took a tour last year, the cabinet. And I want to tell you, Sugar Ridge, if you go down there, oh, it's a beautiful place. You see that hotel building there? Well, no, not Sugar Ridge, the one there from Grenada. What's his name there? That we went with the son. With the son down there. Sugar Ridge. And they have some beautiful cottages. And they continue building. You see another hotel, go to start down by Jolly Harbor there. These are the type of things that we're doing to create wealth, create jobs. And when they want to say, you know what I heard on the radio today? They brought sandals here. Can you imagine lie? You all forget, let me remind you, my dear cousin. Let me remind you, you all forgot that we had the groundbreaking ceremony for sandals. And the then leader of the opposition, Baldwin Spencer, was there to turn the sod. How they sign it? How they know anything about it? That is just lie. Veranda started on the labor. We sold them the land. And when we sold Veranda the land, when they got in, Veranda started. And they stopped Veranda and said, we want more money for the land. Thank God. Veranda paid. But look at Veranda Hotel now. One of the best around Antigua and Barbuda. I want to tell you tonight, comrades, we are going to revive and put more money in agriculture. We're saying, and I want to tell you tonight, do you know, for the first time in the history of Antigua, last Christmas, going on up to now, not a box of egg being imported in Antigua. It's produced by the local farmers. I say they're going. We want to tell our people that we want to get agriculture back on its feet. We want to see the Bethesda project back on its feet. We want to see the whole of the Diamonds area. There's a desalting plant coming just to supply them farmers with water. We want to get agriculture going. You know why? We have to learn to feed ourselves. Right now, many of you travel, because this is Antigua and Barbudans. We travel up and down, go to North America, every place. You watch in America now, the food prices have gone up. In America, we importing from America. Therefore, when we import from America, the prices here naturally going to go up. So we're saying to you, we have to go back in heavily into agriculture and make sure we feed our nation. We sell to the hotels, and we and the Labour ticket are proud that the hotels are assisting, pre-buying from farmers and telling farmers what they need. The farmers getting their money, and the farmers are keep producing. So tell them, they were there for all the years. What have they done for you, baby? They haven't done nothing for you. And they have the heart to come back here. Look, I'll save the rest for Thursday night. You look, I'll talk in the AP with Thursday night and other things. When you look and you see we had a desalinization plant. We had Tango, 2 million gallons a day. And when they got in, nothing was wrong with Tango. One stroke of the pen, They told the manager at APUA, lock down that. And we suffer from drought. We suffer from drought. That is the attitude of them in government when they were there. Tell me one thing that they have done that you can be proud of. One thing. They have done nothing for the people of Antigua and Barbuda. And they're coming to talk about they want to get back in there. I am telling, what hope? Their hope is to go down by Redonda where they say the ships are going to meet them. That is their hope. Go down there. So comrades, when you look in education, when this government, when Gaston Bono, Prime Minister, could situate a school bill, I think it's in 7 or 8 weeks, all during Carnival, he was building a school to educate our youth. That's what he was doing. And when that school was there in completion, they said the school going to break down. He don't do the right, he don't do this, he don't do that. We all are proud tonight. We went to the opening. And the children are happy like larks up there. That is what Labour stands for. We want to tell you, when we took over, they had 30,000 people working in Antigua and Barbuda. There used to be 42,000. Thank God tonight, it gone back up to 42,000. It gone back up. Don't you realize, if we didn't increase that employment, what would you have? Many of you who are on pension now, you would have it hard like hell to get your pension. Thanks to Gaston Brown and his Labour Party, everybody get their pension on time. I see the Minister of Health behind there. But he has a little horse, I don't even going to talk. But I want to tell you, I heard them today saying that the hospital, they're claiming Mount St. John, you know. They forget the amount of demonstration we had to undergo. Y'all forget that? Y'all forget when Comrade Joseph went up to the hospital, he came back down and he told us, this can't be a hospital. No diagnostic equipment could be found working. None. Today at the hospital, everything in there, like if you're in America or Canada, everything up there. 3 cheers for Labour, man. And we want to tell them that thank God Labour went into office. The airport, we had plans that we were going to build an airport. We made arrangements, but we were voted out of power. They continued it with the Chinese, and they got a loan. And the Chinese loan said they had to pay at certain times, etc. They never paid 1 red cent. We are paying for it now, and thank God we don't miss a payment yet. And we want to tell you, when we got there with the equipment, etc., we went and told them, we are going to say what equipment we want. We want equipment that you can get easy from America, Europe, or whatnot or so. And that you have there, we finish it, we decorate it, and it's the envy of the entire Caribbean. So, comrades, I know they're signaling me that another speaker is supposed to come on. So, it's a pleasure talking to you tonight from a platform that I am happy to stand on. We talk. I want to tell you, Labour, I have been around the Labour Party for donkey years. And I don't have nowhere to go. And I want to tell all of you, I found labor to be the salvation of Antigua and Barbuda. Do not give up your Labour Party. It is yours. Stand firm. Then done, then done, then done. Comrades, Thursday night, see you over there. Thank you very much.
Yeah, Robin said I'm done. Yes. We're going to City West. The boss. The boss. The Prime Minister. No. And then comrade leader Justin Brown.
I am blessed. Every day of my life I am blessed. When I wake up in the mornings and I lay my head to rest. Every day of my life I am blessed. Strip. Yes. Come tell me what they say about UPP now. What they say about UPP? Them flop. Them flop. Them flop. Them flop, them flop, them flop.
Them UPP boys.
Them not ready yet.
Them flap, them flap, them flap. And you give them government.
Mistake we make them flop. Them flop, them flop, them flop.
They sound like pop.
Them get wop. Them flop.
They not solid as well. Them get wop.
Them flop. Them flop. Yeah, thank you very much. Comrades, are you ready? Are you ready? I just got some good news. My dear friend Keith Mitchell in Grenada, he just took 15. The opposition got 15 none. And come next week, come next Wednesday, March 21st, 2018, mark my word, it will be 17 done. You know, when you have an irresponsible opposition party that is determined to destroy this country, there can be no better reward than 17 none. Up to this evening, I had to dispatch a letter to a certain website host dealing with a matter involving the UPP, in which they are literally trying to destroy the image of this country. They have some propaganda stating that the European Union will be actually introducing visa requirements, which is not true, and have some nonsense how we give diplomatic passports to terrorists. I call upon Daryl Lovell tonight to provide the evidence of a single person, one person who held Antiguan passport, who was found to be a terrorist in any country. There's a gentleman by the name of Kenneth Ryjock, who apparently was recruited by the UPP, paid for by bootstrap of sandals. And they're trying their best to destroy the image of this country. I'm warning them. And I want to say to them, no matter how they jump, they can jump high, they can jump low. 17 none! In the Jamaica Observer, almost on a weekly basis, Again, Butch Stewart has a number of articles trying to disparage me and to undermine the image of this country. But Butch Stewart and Daryl Lovell, I say to you all, you can't stop this. 17-0! And I know that there may be some Antiguans who may be concerned that by us winning all of the seats, that is the Labour Party, that we may abuse power. I want to say to them, there will be no abuse of power. But the UPP must be sent a message. They must be taught a lesson. And we must do so in the public interest. Tonight, I am here to endorse the candidacy of Comrade Matthew. Comrade Daryl Matthew. Let's hear it for Comrade Daryl Matthew. And I want to say to the people of Rural South that you have an excellent candidate in Comrade Daryl Matthew. And let me make the point here too, that his candidacy is not by chance. I recall just less than a year ago, we had a conversation at the West Indies Oil Company playfield. On a Saturday morning, we normally gather there and play a little soccer. Comrade Daryl Matthew is one of the boys who come there every Saturday, and we play to keep fit, to keep healthy. And I recall having a discussion with my colleagues there. And I said to them, look, Comrade Tico Lake is not keeping very well. From all indications, he will not be available for the next general elections. What do you think about Daryl Matthew as a candidate for the Labour Party? And I want to say to you, every one of them said, yes, he will be a good candidate. That was my first focus group. I then went to the constituency and spoke to a number of people. Spoke to members of the branch, and they all said that Comrade Daryl Matthew would have been an excellent candidate. And I say to you today that he's doing extraordinarily well. I say to you today that he will enjoy one of the largest plurality of votes going into the next general elections. And I'm not saying this for Comrade Matthew and the team to become complacent. I'm saying this to energize you to work even harder so that Rural South will get the highest percentage of votes going into the next general elections. Now, Comrade Daryl Matthew is well known nationally. Well known in this constituency. Someone who's a known community activist who has been helping to develop the youth. Someone who's been active in sports. As you know, he's president of the Basketball Association, the National Basketball Association. He's an athlete. He's a cyclist. Plays basketball. But guess what? He's an ideal man. He's also an intelligent young man. I don't know how many of you are aware of this, but Comrade Daryl Matthew has a master's degree. So you're getting skill, you're getting intellect, you're getting brain, you're getting a complete man, not a half a man, compared to those candidates of the UPP. So, Comrade Daryl Matthew comes equipped to serve. His life has been about service. Very selfless young man, energetic, and someone who will make a positive difference in the lives of the people of Rural South. Already, he has embarked on a number of projects. You have a number of basketball courts that have not been refurbished for 10, 20 years. They are being refurbished today. When you go into Golden Grove Extension, you've had roads that have not been fixed for decades. Today, Comrade Daryl Matthew is addressing those issues, and roads are being paved in this constituency, which were unpaved for several decades. Let's hear it for Comrade Daryl Matthew, man. Now, comrades, in the Labour Party, we have a policy that no 20 or 30 people in a branch will select our candidate. We make sure that we poll to determine the viability of our candidates. And we made sure that we polled Comrade Matthew, and Comrade Matthew came out with flying colors. And that is why I can say to you tonight that he will come out with one of the largest plurality of votes in the next general elections. So I ask you for your continued support. Now, comrades, let me touch briefly on a few national issues. And time is of the essence. We have several speakers, including the man of the hour. I can assure you that the Labour Party administration will continue to deliver for the people of Antigua and Barbuda. We promised you low taxes. And today, the tax to GDP is at about 17–18%. Under the UPP, it was about 22–23%. So we have reduced the tax burden. Even the unincorporated business tax that is speak about, it existed under the UPP. And under the UPP, the government was collecting $7 million. In fact, 7.5, 7.6 million, more like 8 million. Today, we are collecting 5 million. So that shows very clearly that even the UBT that they speak about, the tax burden is less than under the UPP. And one of the things I want you to understand, because I hear them continue to spout this notion about the UBT, is to tax the peanut vendors. Those of you who sell chicken and so on. It's not true. You know it's not true. In fact, the UBT is structured in such a way that you can deduct $42,000 annually in salaries and wages. In addition to that, all of your operating expenses will be deducted before you're due to make a tax payment. So this idea that the small vendors are being penalized with the UBT, it is not true. The truth is, there are less than 75 vendors, a few lawyers, a few accounting firms, shelves, toys and gifts, bargain center and so on. Those big businesses that are not incorporated, those are the ones that pay the UBT. So here they're telling you now that they're willing now to put $5.something million back into the pockets of less than 75 people and giving you, the ordinary people, the poor people, the impression as though it's going back into your pockets. It's not true. When we eliminated personal income tax, $30 million went back to the working class people of this country. Right back in the pockets. And that is why we're doing better today. But you know what? We do not deceive. We know that Daryl Lovell came recently with some very desperate promises. He said to the nation that the UPP administration, if they were to win government, or the party, if they were to win government, that they will give up $200 million in taxes. Can't happen without bankrupting the country. But the same Daryl Lovell, in the very interview, said that the whole issue about 10,000 jobs being lost, he said that that represented about 22% of the overall labor force. And if that were to happen, that the entire country would have been bankrupted. But that is exactly what happened. But how come he does not know that if Transport Board loses 50% of its revenue, that it will have to retrench, that it will bankrupt it? How come he does not know that if APUA loses 25% of its revenue, that it will bankrupt APUA? That is the type of deception. But I said to you tonight that we are concerned about the cost of energy. And we have a plan to reduce energy costs in this country. The first initiative is to continue to diversify into green energy to reduce the cost of production of energy. The second is to make sure that we improve the efficiencies at APUA. And I guarantee you, before the end of this year, you will see a reduction in the fuel variation charge at APUA. But we will be responsible. We know that it cannot be done now. We know that certain things must be put in place. And having done so, we will make sure that we reduce the cost of energy. Now take, for instance, this year, we will have about 10 additional megs of solar energy, both wind and solar, that will be installed. In fact, the fund's already there, 15 million US dollars, which we've gotten from the Abu Dhabi Fund for Development. So these are not pie-in-the-sky promises. We are responsible. We are making sure we reduce the cost and then we pass on the savings to you. But guess what? They have no side work. When we made the pledge to eliminate personal income tax, we presented a 22-page document to the nation telling you where we would have gotten the compensatory revenue from. That is how responsible government works. Not just to take these pie-out-of-the-sky figures and to say that you're going to reduce taxes by $200 million. They'll destroy the country. We promise you in our 2014 manifesto to bring you more investments. There's no doubt that there's more investment in this country. You know about the various hotels that are being built. You know about the 2 Marriott hotels. You know about the Royalton Hotel at the Old Royal Antiguan, which will provide you with about 800 jobs. I'm talking about career jobs upon completion later this year. You know about the project to spend $250 million to build a new cargo port. That will start in a matter of weeks. You know too that my government, the Labour Party government, will also build an additional pier, a 5th pier, to accommodate the largest ships in the world. You know that your government, your Labour Party government, will spend $30 million US to develop a leisure and entertainment facility at 4 Gems. You know that your government is presently spending $250 million to fix the roads in this country. You know that we have put over 6,000 people to work. Those are the successes of the Labour Party. We do not make idle promises. We say what we mean, and we mean what we say. And I don't even have to speak about all the things that we did. The mess that we cleaned up. We stabilized the economy. We rescued the banking sector. We saved $500 million, $500 million in deposits. Our record speaks for itself. And that is why we could boldly say to the people of Antigua and Barbuda, come next week, come March 21st, 2018, 17 none. Let's hear it for Labour Man. Let's hear it for a candidate. Let's hear it for Comrade Daryl Matthew. Thank you very much. Love you, my dear comrades.
Yes! That's the boss! That's the PM! No one for a long time. Ari West, if you're in the audience, report backstage. Ari West, if you're in the audience, report backstage. We stayed in the area. We going to City South. You all call him the Love Man. Let's welcome Comrade Cutie Benjamin.
I know who I am. Good evening, everybody. I'm so happy to be here tonight. I speak to you tonight for a very short time on a very wonderful situation. In my party, I'm the leader of Zone 1. And Zone 1 includes Dean Jonas, St. George's. It includes Rural West. And it includes my dear friend Daryl from Rural South. My duty tonight is to introduce that wonderful young man to you. That gentleman. Today, I led the whistlecade around the city. Look at people. Look at how they love this man. Look at how they're raised. Look, I never saw the kind of support so good for a first-timer. This young man is the man that will take St. John's Rural South easy. There is no doubt it's called Daryl Matthew for St. John's Rural South. There's no doubt about that. Without a doubt, he is best for this area. I want to say to my friend Tico Lake, who's listening tonight, Tico, we all love you. We are sorry for what has happened, but God knows best. And we follow whatever the Lord says. But let me tell you, God has also provided an adequate replacement. There is no way that those other two persons can come close to him. Without one doubt, he is best for the area. This man is talented. This man is a community man. This man is a man who's humble, who talks to everybody who you meet on the street. This man works in basketball with the young people of this nation. You can't beat a humble man. You can't beat a humble person like Daryl. Daryl cares for the people. And you know something? Yes, we are all together. Because when you love people, people love you in return. And Daryl will be that kind of person. I am not surprised also because he is close to St. John City South. And together, he and I will take these two areas by storm. I can assure you that when the votes would have been counted, he will have the biggest win ever in St. John's Rural South. Daryl, yes, all the way, Daryl, back the way, yes. Yes, that's right. Look, when this cabinet, under the guidance of the Honorable Gaston Brown, named this campaign Rebuilding Together, he wasn't joking. We are rebuilding every sector of society. We are building the economy. We are rebuilding education. We are rebuilding health. We are rebuilding prosperity, safety, and security. And what a God blessing it is that among us now is a young man with experience, a young man with the talent to help us to build Antigua again. We are rebuilding together. And Daryl Matthew is the adequate man. So it gives me the greatest pleasure to introduce to you tonight this man from St. John's Rural South, Daryl Matthew, who will take this country by storm. Daryl Matthew.
Rural South! Rural South!
Yeah. We love you. Let's go, everybody. Yeah. DJ, hold on. DJ. Rural South. I want to tell you, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for the support. I love you too. I love you. You know, comrades, tonight is serious business. We're 1 week away. As the Prime Minister and other speakers before alluded, there was an election in Grenada tonight, and it was 15-0. Somebody done somebody in Grenada tonight. We're 1 week away, and now we're done somebody next week. But we have to be prepared. When we decide to vote, we need to think. Look, keep family out of this. When we go to vote next week, we have several options. You know, this constituency has 4 persons seeking to represent it. 4 persons. And I'll tell you right here and right now, I am the best prepared, the best qualified, and the most suitable person to represent St. John's Rural South. And I'll tell you why. I grew up in Golden Grove, in Creekside area. I remember growing up, going on the basketball court as a little child, playing football with all the other boys there, playing basketball, couldn't play cricket too much. But I have never forgotten where I've come from. And all the young men and young women I grew up with in Golden Grove, I still maintain excellent relationships with them. I still go in Golden Grove. I still lie on the corner with them. I still meet them out. And a lot of us, our lives may have gone in different directions. But I have never, ever forgotten that these are the people who were my friends when we were little, and they're my friends now, and they will continue to be my friends. These are the people whose lives may not have gone according to plan, who may not have been as fortunate as I have been, who may not have received the assistance that I received, but who are now in a position for me to help them. Everyone needs a helping hand in some way, shape, or form. And I understand that. This constituency, comrades and friends, is very diverse. We have Arabs who live in Radio Range area, primarily. We have the Dominicanos who live in the Lower Otters and Tyndale Road area. We have Jamaicans, we have Guyanese, we have Dominicans, and we have lots of Antiguans and Barbudans. And I understand that everyone has a part to play in nation building. I understand that all of our residents in this constituency want to be a part of making Antigua and Barbuda the economic powerhouse of Antigua, of the Caribbean. And I understand that we all must find a way to work together. We can't afford to have a country where people isolate themselves in a little group. We cannot afford to live in a country where politicians operate in a divide and conquer manner, where they call some people foreigners, you bang water, come here, when it's convenient. At the end of the day, I know we are Antiguans and Barbudans. I'm an Antiguan and Barbudan. I was born here. My parents were born here, and I'm proud of that. But I also understand that we have residents among us who might not have been born here, but they also mean well for this country. They also want to see this country develop and prosper. And we cannot let anyone with a divide and conquer agenda destroy that. Comrades, let me tell you something, huh? I don't promise, I just do. Right? I don't promise, I just do. About a week and a half ago, I listened to the leader of the opposition talk at length, and they're promising to do this and slash that and whatnot. But they forgot they were there a couple of years ago and they didn't do it. I don't promise. What happened? I just, let me hear you, man. I don't promise. What? I do.
The Prime Minister often speaks about making Antigua and Barbuda the economic powerhouse of the Caribbean. And we believe in that vision as a party. We see that as the goal. That's the destination we're working towards. This is where we want Antigua and Barbuda to go. But we recognize that there are certain things that need to be put in place. And my team in the branch who have supported me tremendously well, and I want to thank them right now. I see the entire branch here, to the Rural South branch, thank you so much for your support and encouragement. We've put together a plan for this constituency that I call the Strategies for Success. And it's in a little red brochure that every home we go to, we give people one and say, these are the plans we have for the constituency. And I'll mention 3 of them here tonight. One is infrastructure. And let's talk about that for a second. Because we don't promise, we just do. For years, the Golden Grove Extension area has been neglected and they've suffered for lack of road work and lack of infrastructure. And so when the Prime Minister and I spoke initially about me potentially becoming a candidate to represent St. John's Rural South, I said, PM, you can't give me a basket to carry water. If you're going to ask me to represent people, I must demonstrate to the people that I don't promise. I just do. And he said, well, Daryl, you tell me what it is you think your constituency requires, and I will do my best to make it happen. I said, PM, we need roads. Everybody in Antigua is complaining about roads. And Rural South is no different. We need roads. And the Prime Minister and the Cabinet of Antigua and Barbuda have supported me in ensuring that the road work in St. John's Rural South is now ongoing. We don't promise, we just do. Another one of our strategies for success, and this is something that's very dear to me, is sports and youth involvement. And we've spoken a lot about the impact that sports can have on people's lives. It keeps people off the street, it keeps them healthy. But we've been struggling for facilities in this constituency for a long time. And so I went to Minister Green. He was on the platform a few minutes ago. I said, Chet, you and I, we've been friends for a lot of years. I know you're the Minister of Sports, and I know you're under some pressure, but you need to work with me. The Golden Grove basketball court and the Nut Grove basketball court, they've been neglected for decades. I can't go and show my face to the people in that constituency and those communities unless I can do something for the sporting facilities. And if you go to Golden Grove today, Tiga has just finished the court over there, and he's going to Nut Grove tomorrow. And so in no time, the young people of Golden Grove and Nut Grove will have 2 world-class basketball courts at their disposal. And ready range, we're coming. We don't promise, we just do. Comrades, let me tell you this. One of the most important things that affect persons' lives is their ability to get employed. Every single day I sit in that branch office and I meet persons from about 12 o'clock in the afternoon until whenever the last person is done. And 9 out of every 10 persons that come in there is looking for employment. What we have started to do in St. John's Rural South at that branch is to collect the names, prepare a database, collect the names, numbers of persons seeking employment. And I can tell you now that we have already started to find employment, not in the government, because everybody is pressuring the government for employment, and the government can't hire everybody. But we have already started to find employment in the private sector through my network of friends and colleagues and business persons, to find work for them. And there are persons now in this constituency who can say, I came to that branch office and I was able to get a job. Why? Because I don't promise. I just do. And so when people talk about the Labour Party has done nothing in this country, they lie. When persons have said that the Prime Minister has not done anything for this country, they lie. When they say that the Cabinet of Antigua and Barbuda do not care for the people, they lie. Because, listen, this country, this island of Antigua and Barbuda is much better off than it was 5 years ago. And with the leadership of the Honorable Gaston Brown, the support of his cabinet and the colleagues, and with you giving me the opportunity to sit in Parliament to represent St. John's Rural South. This country will continue to grow, it will continue to soar, and Antigua and Barbuda will be well on its way to becoming the economic powerhouse of the Caribbean. Rural South, you're gone quiet. What happened? You're sewing, girl? Comrades, when you go to vote next Wednesday, I want you to consider carefully your choice. I want you to consider carefully the choice that is before you. You have persons running and asking you to elect them as your representative who have accomplished nothing in life. You have persons who are coming before you who cannot stand and have a conversation with anyone. You have persons coming to ask you to give them the opportunity to represent you who do not understand where you're from, how you live, how you may be struggling, and what your needs are. You have persons asking you to give them the opportunity to represent you who cannot represent themselves. I ask you to think about your future. Think about the future of your children. Think about the country we want to leave to our children. Because a lot of times we say we have a responsibility to ensure that we do the right thing for our children and for ourselves. And there's no greater way to exercise that responsibility by exercising your right to vote and for voting with a good conscience and considering your options and voting for the best person for the country. I'll say to you tonight, and it's a little touchy subject for me, but I'll raise it. It's no secret that my opponent is a family member of mine. It's no secret. And while we may view politics very differently, and we view the development of this country in two totally different ways, this entire campaigning session and running for office has taught me a very valuable lesson. It has taught me how to be patient, even more so when persons deliberately set out to mislead. It has taught me to take the moral high ground when persons deliberately try to scandalize your name. It has taught me to recognize that everyone has the right to their opinion. And so, I think I'm a better man because of this political experience. I think I'm a more mature person because of this political experience. I've had counsel and have had the opportunity to sit with some of my colleagues who have been in this process for many years. And in fact, I'll tell a little story. I remember a few weeks ago, I had the opportunity to sit with Comrade Yearwood, the Honorable Robin Yearwood, who's been in this thing since the 1970s. And I said to him, I said, well, Mr. Yearwood, you know I'm new to this. What kind of advice do you have for me? And he said, I can't give you advice. I can only tell you what I do. And it has worked for me well. Minister Yearwood said to me that in nearly 40 years involved in active politics, one of his main rules is that he has never called an opponent's name while being at the platform or in Parliament. He doesn't call people's name. He may make reference to you, and he may speak around things that you're doing, but he will not call your name to scandalize you or tarnish you. Because at the end of the day, we all need to live in this country together. We all have children. We all have families. And we all need to live together. And what I took away from that message from Comrade Yearwood was that despite our differences, do not allow it to drag each other in the mud. And I'm proud to say that with the support of my team in St. John's Rural South and the support of my family, I live by that mantra and I'm happy for that. And so, having said all of that, next week, a mere 7 days away. By this time next week, we're having watch night. We're getting everything together. We're mobilizing. We have our phones ready to call our people. We have our list ready. We have our election workers ready. And we have our weapons ready. Because when we go to vote next week, Wednesday, we must ensure that everyone recognizes that the Antigua and Barbuda Labour Party must remain the party of choice in this country. And so, come Wednesday night, when the polls are closed and we're all tired and exhausted, we hear the banners going, Labour, 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 Labour. And the returning officer said, the Antigua and Barbuda Labour Party has been returned to office with a majority of 17 to none. We will all be victorious. We will celebrate and we'll recognize that Antigua and Barbuda is on the road to continue to become the economic powerhouse of the Caribbean. Comrades, thank you for your support. Thank you for the love. Thank you for all the assistance. God bless you. God bless you. God bless you. Ross out. Way
When the wicked try to fight it down with them evil as ways. Stand up firm and hold your ground.
Oh, you just heard from the next representative for St. John's Rural South. Comrades, we just want to thank you tonight for coming out in your numbers and giving your support to Comrade Daryl Matthew and the Antigua and Barbuda Labour Party. We just want you to have a safe drive home, a pleasant night's rest, and see you on Thursday night in St. John's Rural East, where we will support Comrade Maria Byrne Brown. Good night, comrades. Have a good night.